In the ruins of what was once an empire of gods and demons, Rimuru Tempest sits in the calm after a storm he never wanted to summon. Michael, the former Emperor Veldora, has vanished with Feldway, the mystic lord. The result is no victory, no defeat, just survival. I could worry about sweeping things up and working out plans later, Rimuru thinks. The words sound simple, but under them is exhaustion. The kind that eats at the soul. The kind that comes after being forced to play God, to command armies, to watch kingdoms burn and still stand tall because others need you to. His allies, Carolon, Frey, and the rest, lie in evolutionary slumber, bodies transforming from mortals to something far greater. He entrusts them to Testarasa's care, knowing she'll guard them like a hound of hell. And even as the taste of battle still lingers on his tongue, someone, maybe Shion, maybe Benimaru, tells him, you need to regain your strength. It's advice he doesn't want to hear, but it hits home. Because Rimuru, beneath the mantle of Demon Lord, is still human enough to need rest. But the heart of this chapter isn't war. It's what happens after, the aftermath. The breathing space between battles, where emotion returns and every scar starts to ache. He wants something simple, a gathering, a celebration, a night of laughter, food, and the illusion that the world isn't falling apart. It sounds almost naive, doesn't it? But that's the strange duality of Rimuru, the monster who remembers what it means to be human. And yet, even this wish carries a shadow. Laplace, his strange, half-ally, half-enigma, has vanished. Rimuru doesn't chase him, he just lets him go. Because sometimes you don't pursue ghosts. You wait for them to return when the time demands it. When he returns to Tempest, expecting relief, what greets him isn't celebration, it's the smell of smoke. A section of the city's border lies in ruin. Geld's swift intervention stopped the flames from spreading, but the scars remain, black and deep. Rimuru's gaze drifts over the charred remains, and something inside him mirrors that landscape, victory painted over with ash. The fire has gone out, but its memory hasn't. The night falls, and the scene shifts to a banquet hall lit by flickering light. Rimuru sits at the head of the long table. On his right, Veldora, unshakable as ever. On his left, Benimaru, calm, loyal, waiting. Behind him stands Shion and Diablo, shadows that breathe authority. The feast begins. Laughter, clinking glasses, warmth, and yet the air hums with something else. Tension, because every smile hides the memory of blood. Every joke is a way to delay what they'll eventually have to discuss, the aftermath. When Geld steps forward to report, he's steady as stone, but his eyes carry the weight of what was lost. Opposite him sits Adelman, newly evolved, but visibly disturbed, as if even in evolution, the world refuses to rest. Then chaos takes form in miniature. Ramiris, that tiny fairy of boundless energy, sits before Veldora, gleefully devouring her meal. Trainee and Beretta hover nearby, trying and failing to maintain order. And for a moment, the mood lightens. Veldora naturally steals the spotlight. He boasts about his unshaken confidence against Velgrynd, his sister, the Scorched Dragon. The words come out with his usual arrogance. If it weren't for that cowardly intruder's strike, I'd have won easily. The hall erupts in laughter. Rimuru doesn't even bother to argue. I definitely thought he was intimidated, he thinks, quietly amused. And yet, as everyone claps and cheers, Ramiris suddenly says something strange. Something small, careless, something that shouldn't mean much. She refers to him, a vague, dangling pronoun. But in that one slip, Veldora's grin falters, just for a second. Ramiris, realizing she said too much, laughs it off. That's probably gonna be all right, she chirps too quickly. But the tone, light, nervous, doesn't match her words. The laughter lingers, awkward, forced. Rimuru feels the room shift. He doesn't know why, not yet, but he feels it. The ripple under calm waters. His eyes drift across the room, away from the noise, toward the quiet corner where Vester sits. Silent. Observing. A man of science, yes, but also of secrets. And for some reason, Rimuru can't shake the sense that something is brewing beneath his very feet. The party continues, but the flavor has changed. The sweetness of camaraderie now tastes faintly of tension, of something waiting to break. Meanwhile, far beneath the surface, in the endless corridors of the labyrinth, another story unfolds. When Rimuru left to face the Empire, the labyrinth had been left in the hands of Ramiris and her trusted circle, Veldora's followers, the Guardians, the Dryads. What was once a realm of laughter and invention has turned cold, alert. Every echo feels like a heartbeat out of place. Ramiris hovers before her control panel, wings trembling, not from excitement, but from dread. The labyrinth is her paradise, her home, her legacy, and the thought of losing it again after ages of solitude is unbearable. She feels it before she knows it, a premonition, a whisper at the edge of reality that says, something is coming. And then it arrives. Velgrynd, the Scorch Dragon, the Crimson Terror. The sister Veldora both fears and adores, descending upon the labyrinth like a comet of divine fire. Her arrival isn't a battle, it's annihilation. The walls shudder, the air burns, the enchantments that make the labyrinth indestructible begin to fail one by one. Ramiris stares in horror, her memories fracturing into visions, images of ancient times when the three true dragons reigned over creation itself. Veldora, wild as the storm. Velgrynd, flame made flesh. Velzard, ice eternal and unknowable. It's a memory buried deep within her spirit, half forgotten, half denied, but now it bleeds through. And yet, amidst her fear, something changes. Veldora steps forward. Gone is the carefree buffoon from the feast. What stands before her now is a god reborn in pride. His aura crackles like thunder. Just sit back and watch me act like the hero I am, he roars. Ramiris watches him go, heart aching between awe and dread, because she knows what he's walking into. And still, he smiles. Around her, the Guardians assemble. Beretta, poised and unyielding. Trainee and her sisters, calm as old oaks. Charis, trembling with devotion though forbidden to fight. And the scholars, Vester, Dino, and the human researchers left behind. They all know what's coming. They all know they can't win. But none of them run. Ramiris forces a grin, her voice cracking beneath bravado. I'm sure my master will win, and even if he doesn't, Rimuru will figure something out. But her words sound more like prayer than conviction. Then, the alarms scream. The control center fills with flashing red light. Alpha, the chief dryad curator, reports in a tone sharp as steel. Warning! Intruder detected! Everyone gathers before the monitor. The image it projects freezes their blood. An angel, if you can even call that thing an angel, descends from the heavens. Cloaked in white, 6 wings unfurled, his black hair glimmering like liquid light. His weapon, divine yet tainted, hums with the vibration of apocalypse. That's an angel, Ramiris whispers, trembling. I have a feeling he's gonna be trouble. Alpha calculates his existence points. The number flashes on screen, over 3 million. Silence. Then disbelief. 3 million. Even the subordinates behind him, 5 in total, radiate between 4 to 700,000. These aren't just angels. These are monsters of divine order, seraphim who make nations tremble. The air in the control room thickens. Ramiris can barely breathe. The EP system, once a source of comfort, now becomes a noose around their hope. 3 million EP. That's the power of an extinction event. And yet, it's through that same system that the story reminds us of something profound. Numbers aren't everything. Hakuro, Gobta, warriors with modest EPs, can still crush stronger foes through sheer skill and instinct. Power is not the same as mastery. But even that truth feels hollow now, because this enemy doesn't belong to the realm of logic. This is something higher, something beyond comprehension. The labyrinth, once impregnable, has become a glass fortress under divine scrutiny. Beretta remains composed, issuing orders. Trainee and her sisters step forward to volunteer. Their calmness borders on defiance. One's EP is nothing more than a guide, Trainee says softly, her voice steady. A quiet statement, but one that embodies the spirit of Tempest itself. Rimuru didn't build his nation on power. He built it on trust, unity, the will to face the impossible together. But Ramiris isn't Rimuru. Her heart quivers. She remembers his words, "We only fight battles we know we can win." And this isn't one of them. She considers retreat, evacuation, anything to survive. But Charis, loyal to a fault, steps forward. If we wait, he says, the labyrinth's core will fall. We must intercept on the surface. He's right. Waiting is death. Acting is hope. Then, something unexpected happens. The human researchers, Shinji, Mark, Zhen, Lucius, and Raymond, rise from their stations. They're not heroes, not warriors, but they step forward anyway. We can keep fighting through death itself, one of them says with a crooked grin. It's reckless. It's brave. It's human. Ramiris feels her heart twist. The fear in her eyes flickers out, and in its place, light. Pure, radiant, defiant. She laughs, that high, tinkling laugh that once annoyed everyone but now sounds like music. As long as I'm around, you can die all you want, so don't go easy here. Her childish words cloak the truth. She believes in them. Every one of them. The room bursts into motion. Beretta readies the defenses. Trainee leads her sisters to the front. Kara steps beside them, forbidden no longer.